Hello to the hockey family. It is Monday, June the 1st, 2026. Unfortunately, have to kind of start this video off on a sad note. The hockey world obviously kind of shook last week going into the weekend, Clayton week, finding out about the passing of Claude Lemieux. The guy that was just a legend, of the game, and continued that to his legacy as an active agent, outstanding career as a player, and then continued to help guys as an agent, and a guy that I've had many conversations with and talked to, quite a bit recently. So these things always come as a real shock, and unfortunately, has happened too many times, sort of friends and guys that I played with and guys in the hockey world. So it's one of those things that you just never really seem to see coming. You never really know what's going on with people. And we always talk about it here. Just, we always say the hockey family, and, we really believe in that. And I think that, if you are anybody that, maybe are hurting, you call me anytime. Call a friend. You gotta talk about this stuff. But yeah, it's just a real shock, and obviously our just thoughts and prayers going out to Claude's family. We're so real. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. Obviously tough to transition here, but you saw some very interesting data on some emerging markets. So I'm talking about how important it is to diversify your positions within the emerging markets, right?
It is tough to transition
Yeah.
from that news into something that matters a lot less. But so if you follow our firm's work, as cliche as the saying goes, just we believe in diversification and international diversification. And just one thing I was looking at last week was really just taking it a step further, just looking particularly at emerging markets, and why it's important to diversify even your emerging market holdings, right? And so maybe the reason we don't talk a lot about this is, like, usually when you hear diversification, it might mean, all right, well, don't own Apple, right? Like you probably want to you probably want to diversify outside of just owning like a couple individual companies, and so you probably want to own some international or some bonds. So emerging markets, because they're quite volatile, right? Even in like your international, like your aggregate international holdings, like emerging markets might only just make up like, a fraction of that. But I found, as I was kind of looking at our portfolios last week, this Claude, it's just like still in my head, but so the benchmark for emerging markets, right? 25% is up year to date. All right. So, and even looking at, like our portfolio, 25%, emerging market value is like 28%, right? So if you own a diversified mix of emerging market stocks, right? You're up, call it 25% so far this year. But now what I want to dig into further is like, so what if rather than owning a diversified basket of emerging markets, you own just like country specific ETFs, like of a particular country or two? And so I just wanted to highlight some of the risks of doing so. So again, I have the numbers on the screen here in front of me above. So again, just keep in mind, like the benchmark return emerging markets so far this year in 2026, 25%. Now, so some of the biggest emerging market economies, here we go. Brazil so far this year, plus 12. China, -8. India, -11. Indonesia, -35. Korea, plus 118% up for Korea. Mexico, plus 15. Taiwan, plus 60. All right. So you can imagine what a different investment experience it would be if, hopefully if you're going to pick a country, you would own one of the ones that did really well. But you can just kind of go to say, well, why we feel it's better for emerging markets are already going to be volatile. Like, own it in a better way. Like diversify the holdings, own it as a basket. Again, a step further is just tilting it to value. But yeah, diversify your emerging markets.
Yeah.
Uh,
Again, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Tough video.
Yeah, tough. I didn't do well there, but
Well, it's just
yeah,
obviously we need to educate, but yeah, that news with Claude is just
yeah, brutal.
over everything.
Yeah.
So
Stanley Cup starts this week.
yeah, that's exciting. So we get kickoff Tuesday night.
Yeah, should be good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
should be a
two
really good
teams that play
series.
really hard.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. So,
yeah.
like I said, questions, comments, concerns, but I mean, honestly, outside of investments, everything, phone's always open. Make sure you reach out to people.
Yeah. Have a good week, guys.